Hello and welcome to the first video in the Shark Tank project. This video is going to go over working in Business Analyst and also doing the Smart Map search, which is the first step in the project. So from your home screen, remember Business Analyst is located in the waffle. And please be patient with Business Analyst. It can be slow sometimes, and make sure that you save every chance you get. Now the program as a whole uses autosave, but when you run a process, you have an option to save your layers. Make sure you choose to do that. Now, if you look at the actual table of contents for this project, you'll notice that it's empty, and yet my map has stuff on it. This is actually from a separate project. Even though I created a brand new project, it doesn't start off blank if you have anything stored in Business Analyst. So to start with, over on the right hand side, we're going to click this clear map button. We're going to click all, and we're going to clear. Sometimes it does it in one, sometimes it clears it here, but you still have to refresh. The refresh button is your friend. Remember, everything auto saves, so if it gets stuck, just press refresh. We are going to create maps. We're going to do a smart map search. We're going to go to browse all variables. And this is an interface you should be familiar with, both in Business Analyst last year and also Enrichment. It looks very similar, if not identical. Now, to save time, I have actually went ahead and created my list, so I'm going to go to Saved List. You are going to be starting off on your own. And we're going to do specifically this Shark Tank video list. So a couple of things you'll notice. I have all of these variables listed. I'm going to go ahead and check them to add them to my selected variables. And then I'm also going to star them. I want to star them. They're easier to find because I can now just look at my favorites. But it's also going to make it easier to show you where I got them. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those just so you can see them. And then I'm going to go to Explore. Now you can click any of these buttons to start. You can also search for a key term. Searching for a key term has mixed results. I've tried something like yarn. I like to knit and crochet, and there's really nothing for yarn. However, you will see ordered Hobby Lobby craft supplies. That's one of my variables, and toys and games, craft supplies, hobbies is one of my variables. So even though I couldn't find anything for yarn, I can find a couple of things related. So use that if you want. Spending, behaviors, psychographics are three really great categories. Most of my variables are from behaviors, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And remember, there are headings up here. So I actually ended up using leisure, activities, and lifestyle, and just kind of looked through all of them. I expect you to do a decent amount of scrolling here. You never know what you're going to find. I attended an adult education course. I added that one. Well, that's one of my older variables from a different project, so all my favorites are saved. So all sorts of interesting things: karaoke, go-karting. Another one of my variables, or some of my other variables you can find in shopping. Shopping is a great category for you as well. Notice how it starts wherever you were in the list, even when you switch. So this is telling you that there are 254 variables showing that are under the shopping category out of the 2,765 total for behaviors. And I'm just gonna scroll a little bit. Should see a couple of mine pop up soon. Yes, there's one ordered from Etsy. A little bit more. Notice all of these stores they have listed. So if you're looking for maybe people who shop at a particular store, you can find that. Anyway, that's how you find your variables. You just click the box to add it to your list. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. and then make sure you star it as well. Check your variables at the top. So I have 7. Remember, you need a minimum of 6. You can have a maximum of 10. Now, these variables are all set to count. Count is not what we want in this project. We want to use an index. Remember, an index, whoop, there it goes. Remember, it is a little bit glitchy. An index sets all of the values based on an average, and then an index of 100 is the national average. So I'm going to go ahead and click Map Variables. It's going to take a minute. The order in which you do this next step is important. It looks like you want to start playing with these sliders. Don't. Just collapse your variable list. Go to your geography first, because if you mess with the geography, or if you mess with the variables when it's showing states, and you switch to counties like you need, everything is going to reset. So save yourself the heartache, switch to counties before you begin. There it goes. Now you'll notice if you are zoomed in, it will not show you all of your variables. In fact, it will update based on what is showing. There are 3,144 counties in the United States. In a minute, there's going to be fewer than that. There it goes. Now there's only 3,061. That's because I've eliminated all of Alaska, Hawaii, and part of the rest of the United States. So just make sure you zoom all the way out. Have Alaska and Hawaii available, present or within the view of your map. I'm not going to touch anything for a second. You'll know that it has loaded, even though it's taking a minute to actually load within the image. We're back to our 3,144. Okay, so once that is set, we're going to go back to our variable list, and we can start playing with these sliders. Now, ideally, you should be able to set all of these with a minimum value of 100. In doing so, you are saying only look for the counties that are above the national average. And notice, each time I change this minimum value to the national average, I am losing count overall counties. Hopefully, when I am done changing them all, I still have enough to do my analysis, but we'll see. That one dropped it a lot. Still good. Still good. And finally, 41. That'll work. What's a sweet spot? Less than 50, but more than 10. Something like that. If you're concerned, post in the troubleshooting. We can take a look at it. Now, save your list. So make sure you give your list a name. I've already saved this. This is my Shark Tank video list, but make sure you save it in case something happens or the class ends and you need to start over, or you need to pick up where you left off next class. You don't want to have to start over. Okay, so we're going to do 2 things now that we have our smart map. The first thing we're going to do is save the layer as is. So we're going to press the Save Layer button. We're going to give it a title. So Smart Map Search Results, and then I'm going to add Shark Tank Example. You just call it your product. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm doing this in relatively live time, at least the saving, so that you get an idea how long it takes. I expect you to spend time with your variables, really looking for variables that are going to help describe the consumer of your product. I put some time into this outside of the video so that I didn't have to spend time doing that during the video. It's almost done. This first one's going to take longer to load because we're doing all 3,144. Now I know it says there's 41, but I purposefully left on this button that says include non-matching areas, and I want that because I want all of the data available. So even though Loudoun County no longer fits, oh boy, I'm gonna anger it to no end. Just take a minute. Make sure you are on this hand button. You do not want to be on the select or the pin. Just kinda zooming in just so I can see Loudoun. Okay, if I hover over Loudoun County, it's not Montgomery County, Maryland, come on. Loudoun County. You'll notice that shopped at Hobby Lobby is the one variable that eliminated Loudoun County from my list. So even though Loudoun County is no longer considered, I can still see the information as long as I include these non-matching areas. Now, I've already saved the layer once. I'm going to turn off this include non-matching areas. I'm going to zoom back out so I have all of them. Should be back to 48, I think it was. 41. Okay. And I'm going to save the layer again. The only thing I want to do is add the word match to the end so that I know one only includes the matches and one doesn't. The reason you want both is we are going to use the match layer to generate our sites. We can't use the non-matching areas or it kind of defeats the purpose. So save both. To make sure both are saved, you go back to your table of contents up here, and you'll notice that I have one called example match and one just called example. And that's where we'll end for this video. See you in the next one.